When things go terribly wrong on paternity court.
No. Let's get this straight. I address what I want to address in the order I want to address it.
I know that's a damn lie. Somebody fix it.
We're gonna get
Somebody fix it.
Mr. Hughes was standing between his mother and the mother of his child, confused about which side to pick, as Grandma was persistent that Radcliffe guy was tapped in the paternity of the child, too white to be his.
That baby white as snow. There's no way that could be my grandchild or my son's baby. He has no features like none of us. Nobody in my family looked like that.
And just by looking at this child, you've determined and said to yourself, I do not believe that's my grandchild.
That can't happen. There's no way.
You heard the bubby? Stuck on no way. Because according to them, Miss Jackson had all the T qualities that were more than enough to fool her innocent son.
This woman is trouble. She is trouble with a capital T. I call her the 3 T's. Trash, trouble, and trifling. That's what she is. The little boy looks nothing like my son or any member of my family at all.
Yeesh, Miss McBirth was really non-negotiable about paternity. And the worst part was that she wasn't even trying to hide her hatred toward the defendant and her son. Even the baby mama knew that her child's looks were coming in the way.
So why do you think she's in so much doubt over your child?
I have no idea, to be honest. Maybe because he is so white.
Because he all the white. He ain't got no black in here. Everything I see got powder puff on it. I don't see no chocolate nowhere, okay?
No, ma'am.
Whatever.
Up next, while Miss Jackson was telling the court how she was committed to the plaintiff's son, she got interrupted by the aunt of her child, saying that baby mama was just a side chick.
All she basically was for him was a snack cake on the side of his meal.
Thank
There was
you.
nothing more.
Thank you. A side chick.
And it's all she has done is she's been trying to put the baby on us.
She wants me to acknowledge that child is my son. That's not gonna happen.
No, I think she's more so obsessed.
Wait, why are they going like try to pin the baby on us and not our baby? Isn't this whole thing about the baby and the parents? Why are they stepping and giving verdicts like this?
It's because that's my last name.
And so hold on now, if you don't think the child is his, why would she be trying to change the name?
We've been trying to change the name a couple weeks ago, even we talked about it.
Miss Jackson's baby's last name was interesting. Well, in her defense, she still carried her ex-man's name. And since no one was listed as the father on the birth certificate, the baby automatically got her name.
Was he there when you had the baby?
No.
It was another guy, that's why.
There was nobody else there but my mom and my sister.
I'm sick of all these little hookers trying to say my son is the daddy. I'm sick of it.
You
I
will
get
see.
babies dropped off here, dropped off there. I'm sick
I'm not
of
dropping
it.
The sassy grandma and auntie duo further added that the defendant was so fast that the cops often busted her house parties. And it was not hard to imagine what was going on behind her walls.
She's a liar because you just had a wild sex party that got shut down by the police station last week.
Nah,
Okay, hold on. Miss McBirth.
Yes, it is.
Miss McBirth.
It is true. Why is your neighbors complaining about the sex that goes on in your
There was
household?
no sex
Yes.
going on. No,
Ladies,
report.
ladies.
A whole lot of finger pointing and name calling going on here, right? But it's easy to blame someone else. And the judge pointed this out rightfully. However, Miss McBirth didn't like it when the judge shoved a little truth in her face, and she condemned Judge Lake like this.
He's a handsome guy, and I know what he do. But he's still, no matter what he do, he's still gonna be my son.
So hold on one second. Just take a look at the monitor. When you look at this picture,
It make me want to throw up.
it seems like your son is kissing the baby. It makes you want to throw
It make me want
up.
to throw up because it's a
Why?
lie. Because it's not his.
It doesn't matter, really, if he's showing the child
It's
love.
not his.
What on earth? What is this woman high on going after an innocent kid like that? Regardless of the doubt, no child deserves to be treated like this. Anyway, now it was time for the alleged daddy to testify.
I just gave him the benefit of the doubt because I'm biracial. My father's white.
That child is not my son. She got men coming and going in and out of her house.
My
We
father's
don't
a
know.
blonde-haired, blue-eyed dude, so.
How you know? He
just
just gonna
blinded
say that
blue
because,
eyes.
she gonna freak him after this.
You're accusing your
My
brother
brother-
of not having enough sense to testify as to his own experience?
In the course of the trial, it was revealed that little Elijah was also calling other men daddy. Though the defendant affirmed it, she also testified that the baby boy was doing it out of puzzlement. All right, fair enough. However, for the plaintiffs, it wasn't fair at all.
Do you know how many times a girl has said, this is my son's child, this one, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I'm sick of it.
McBirth is speaking the real truth of what she's really frustrated about.
Every time I look around, it's a baby here, it's a baby there, and I'm the one stuck helping, gotta feed them, take care of the clothes, and keep them while the mom and daddy either go to work or run the street. I'm sick of it.
Clearly, Big Mama was more frustrated over having babies here and there, and she ended up taking care of them. The bummer was that she was taking it out on the child. If the result comes opposite from the claims, she handles it well.
Mr. Hughes, you are Elijah's father.
No! That's a lie! That's a lie! That's not true! You a lying trick, what did you do? I'm through. I know that's a damn lie. I know that's a damn lie. Somebody fix it.
We're gonna get something. Somebody fix it.
Mr. Johnson, playing full-blown daddy just recently, found out about the other possibility and bumped over being duped. Baby Mama wasn't sure herself, but as the child grew, things became clearer.
She was telling me, you know, one minute that, oh yeah, you're the father. Then the next minute she's telling me, a couple years down the line, that I'm not the father, you know? I'm kind of confused here. I don't know what to think.
You lying.
How am I
Ms.
lying?
Owens, did you tell him at any point that he was the father and then change it and say he wasn't?
Go ahead.
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
All right, I'm not liking the way they started. However, Ms. Owens told the court how she was stuck in paternity dilemmas, as one of the potential fathers had died, while the other wasn't her best pick.
When my son was around 6 months, when we was together, living together, we both noticed that he started looking like the other dude, which is Dwayne.
You had this discussion.
Yes.
The more the kid grew up, the more he turned to look like the other guy. Then what next? Well, it got revealed that the sassy mama had Mr. Johnson rushing to the hospital and signing the birth certificate, even though she had doubts.
Did you believe at that time
Yes.
he was the father?
Yes, I knew in my heart that he was, because I was in love with this little fella at one point.
So you slept with somebody else,
Yeah.
but you just weren't considering it. You put your focus on him.
Thank you.
Wow, I love when a judge puts the truth like that. So while judging one with discovering what had really gotten down, both participants were more focused on bashing each other like this.
Don't believe her, man.
No, he didn't come
I'm
until
a
I died,
woman,
lady.
first of all. I will make the decision as to what I believe.
Changing diapers, feeding them,
The
while
diapers
she was
that
laying on her
I
fat you know?
That's
Oh,
it.
wait. Now you have to watch your language.
I'm just saying, that's okay, Your Honor, because it is fat. You know, that's okay.
Ooh, the judge does not like people who act like that. And I don't blame her, because she is running a courtroom, not a circus. Which the judge made quite clear, as she had realized that these goofy folks had no idea what was at stake.
You all got a lot of jokes on something that really is quite sad.
Well, he
because
is a
what
joke,
we're trying to
Your Honor.
figure out, either you're this child's father or potentially the child's father is deceased. And this court cares about Dakari.
I do too.
Dakari was in trouble because his parents were too busy acting like children themselves. But anyway, as the judge asked the baby's mom why she never eliminated the other guy from the potential list, her answer led to rabble in the courtroom.
You admit that you had sexual relations with Mr. Tyson.
Yeah, I never.
And when you found out he passed away, had you buried it back in your mind so far that he could potentially be your child's father? Oh my goodness, this could be my child's father that passed
well,
away.
let's shut up and
Go
quit
ahead,
talking.
man, go
You can
ahead.
hear
Go
something
ahead. I
with
just wanna
them
hear
little
your
bitty
answer.
ears.
Go ahead.
Every question, every inquiry seemed like vain. It was a bunch of loose ends and nothing concrete, missing vital information, going back and forth. Judge Lake was just stuck in a mess.
Okay.
How could that not be in your mind?
Little
you had
one,
sex
can you,
with him.
little one, can you
had
calm down?
sex with him.
Pipe down, little one.
You had sex with him. How could that not be in your mind?
Sit, dog.
How could that not be in
Sit.
your mind?
Whoa, the little fella? Doggy, what? Are these people out of their minds? All no squabbling like that would make anyone go sore, and Judge Lake was no exception.
Ridiculous. You look right now. Both of you. All of this, little one, have a seat. You're not making anybody look
on.
bad
First
except
of all, you
yourself.
come here talking to
No,
me.
I'm addressing him next.
Oh,
So the point, no. Let's get this straight. I address what I want to address in the order I want to address it.
Oh boy, you gotta see this, man. These people. All this hokey pokey has come to an end for good because there was a child who deserved to know the truth. So let's get to that.
Mr. Johnson, you are not his father.
There it is.
Based on the testing results, the probability of relatedness is 99.99%.
Miss Hanger's messy fiasco caused her already paying child support baby daddy to believe that he was duped into paternity by default, and now was looking for a way out.
No, I don't believe it.
You're blind, dude. You're blind. That's point blank, you're blind.
A medical professional at all giving me the opinion that you were pregnant would have been good too. But I mean, like...
And so wait a minute. Just let me understand this situation. I don't know how you two even ever had sex, the way you two are acting.
While the eccentric young man was in a legal brawl right at the beginning of the trial, the plaintiff had to make it clear that even though he was listed as the father, the defendant was doing nothing for her daughter.
He's a spoiled, rotten, arrogant brat, point blank. He won't even admit that she even looks like him when she's identical to him.
Just because you frame her up there and put her next to my family, that's not actually a DNA test.
So let's get to being named father by default. Mr. Babbitt was served paternity trial papers. Being the cocksure man that he was, the defendant signed them without reading them. And now we're standing in court blaming baby mama for it.
Well, you look confused, period. And you look like you got a smart mouth. And you think you know too much, but what you should have known was to bring your butt to court. Then you wouldn't be here.
Thank you.
Now, you can get smart with me if you want, Mr. Babbitt. Let me tell you something, Mr. Babbitt. You can get smart with me if you want to. You're gonna lose every day of this week.
Oh, he just rubbed Judge Lake the wrong way. Standing, acting all obnoxious, not taking responsibility, and running a smart mouth while there's a baby in question. That doesn't work on Lake's watch.
But every time I ask you a question, you have something smart to say.
We're not getting...
Now, hold on. Do not question what I think you look like. I'm here to ask questions. You're here to answer them. Now, whether you have animosity towards Miss Hanger, that's your personal feelings, but what you're not gonna do is take them out on me.
I'm sorry, I was just trying to tell the truth.
No, yes, you are sorry.
Finally, the man is sorry about something, so at least there's that progress. But anyway, it turns out that his real doubt stemmed from the plaintiff being sexually involved with her roommate, but baby mama denied all such accusations.
Person you were sleeping with?
Yes, I had not slept with anybody else prior.
Anybody else but Mr. Babbitt during that window of
months.
Oh, you were sneaking out in the middle of the night doing something.
I was not sneaking out anywhere. The
crawl over
only
me
time
and
I'd
not
get out
wake
of
me
bed is
up.
to go to the bathroom.
Yes, and you wouldn't come back for an hour.
No.
So you would be asleep and then she would climb out of the bed and not come back for an hour?
Yeah.
Contradiction and denial both often join together to give rise to paternity doubt. However, Mr. Babbitt was there for the first doctor's appointment, but when the reports didn't give a clear hint, the guy just vanished into thin air, leaving the plaintiff alone.
That's great. Maybe they have you committed because you have to be crazy if you think I'm coming up there for a baby I don't believe is mine.
Because I never proved to him that I was pregnant.
Or you might have been up there doing something in the hospital, not pregnancy related, and then saw a new, like, here, I'll give you $10, let me take a picture with the kid.
I had an emergency C-section the second time I got induced.
Oh, Mr. Big Mouth, that there's no way to treat a woman, let alone your own potential baby mama. And FYI, the guy tried playing excited dad for a bit, but it was too much for him.
He laid his head on my stomach. He asked me what I was naming her and stood in the middle of her nursery.
Yeah, I walked in
And
there,
that
I was
makes
like,
you
I still don't
emotional.
hear a heartbeat.
Why
What I
are you
did.
feeling emotional, Miss Hanger?
That my daughter has to go without her father because I went through that.
You've brought a witness today. Give you a moment to compose yourself.
Ugh, I feel really bad for the mommy if the DNA result comes saying he is the father. She'll have to put up with that thing across the podium. And guess what? His father was testifying against him. Why am I not shocked?
This is a picture of
my baby picture.
Of your baby picture on the
Correct.
left
And
and
Chloe.
Chloe's baby picture on the right.
Chloe has so many tendencies, looks, and mannerisms as Royce does. You know, he's got an older boy, and we've gone down this road before. And
The first thing, step up,
the
I
second
moved my
one-
wife
The second
in.
one here, we are with Chloe.
And my son.
This Cam can do nothing but blame others to get his way. Arguments for the sake of arguments. Anyhow, it was about time for both results to be read.
Did you have sexual intercourse with your roommate after March 2013? You said no. The lie detector indicated deception.
That can't be, no, something's not right with this. I swear on everything.
Mr. Royce, you are her father.
I guess.
Severe genetic disease and denial from the father had taken a toll on this baby's mama. The woman has been left with no choice but to opt for a DNA test to get her child the attention and support he needed. Let's hear the plaintiff.
He don't want to take financial responsibility. He hasn't been there. He wasn't there through my pregnancy. When I had the baby, he wasn't there. For his surgery, he wasn't there. I've contacted him. I tried to let him know, and there was still nothing, no response.
So you're saying that Mr. Toozy hasn't shown any care, concern about...
He's never even seen my son.
Mr. Toozy hadn't even seen the child for once. That's strong denial. I mean, you did sleep with her, didn't you? Well, apparently the baby boy was too white to be his. Come on, his mother's white.
One time, and that was it, and I realized the baby just don't look nowhere near like me. The baby looks way too white.
Give me the nature of this relationship, Ms. Renfro.
We met through mutual friends. It was sexual, and we talked about being in a relationship. When I found out I was pregnant, I took 7 pregnancy tests.
And at that point, you say Mr. Toozy just backed off.
Yeah, there was no contact after that.
Upon finding out about the child, Mr. Toozy's first reaction was, how is the father? Odd, right? When the judge asked the potential father about it, he testified that there was another man in the picture. Mr. Toozy had seen text messages from him.
You saw text messages which indicated that you may not be the biological father of a child, and you can't remember none of them? Do you remember being in a sexual relationship with Ms. Renfro?
Yes, I do, ma'am.
Do you remember not using protection?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you remember that's how you make a baby?
Yes, ma'am.
Further, the defendant claimed that he was sterile and none of his past relationships produced a baby. However, while the judge was having a hard time buying it, the plaintiff again brought in the health hazard.
My son has an issue with his stomach. He was born with what you call Hirschberger's disease, and it's passed through genetics. And none of my other kids have it. I had sex with him, got pregnant, and my son had to have surgery at 6 days old. He had to have part of his intestine removed.
While the mommy was crying to find some closure for her child, Mr. Toozy was persistent that none of his family had any genetic disease, and baby mama should stop wasting his time. Go ask the real father.
I know who my kids belong to. I don't just lay down with everybody. I don't sleep with everybody unprotected.
Why would you have another guy signing the birth certificate?
Because he's been there. Like, he took on that role. That was his choice.
Whoa, quite a bump. There was another guy on the certificate bump who was already busy playing the daddy of the child. However, the baby mama claimed that he was looking out for him and his friend.
Ms. Renfro, you had another person sign the birth certificate?
My ex signed the birth certificate. He's still in my child's life. He still takes my son to the doctors.
Is your ex in the child's life because he could potentially be the biological father as well?
No, he loves my son.
So, Mr. Toozy, do you have this disease, Hirschsprung's? Do you have this?
No, Your Honor.
Looks like the judge wasn't liking any of the excuses the clueless father was putting forth, as he had no evidence to prove his point. But what happened next gave the case a new turn. And this happened while witnesses were giving testimony.
Mr. Toozy, he's a good guy. I don't think he's doing this purposely because, like he said, she was texting whatever, texting a guy. Well, there was like somebody that she had slept with around time, but it was she was protected.
Hold on, don't gloss over that. Don't talk so fast. You said there was a guy she had slept with during the time?
Well, it was a little before she got pregnant.
Ah, the guy was right all of this time. Miss Renfro was too busy making fools of all of us. Why would you leave out such an important piece of information, woman? Let's see how the judge was processing the revelation.
Your best friend remembers you were intimate with somebody else around the time. When she said it, you did not immediately say what you're saying is a lie, that is not true.
Stuff happens.
So you say stuff happened?
Yes, ma'am.
So what happened?
I messed with
How many men were you sleeping with when you conceived your child?
1.
After this, the judge moved on to the defendant, asking if his stance in paternity had changed. The irony was that his doubt had only gotten more robust since his initial testimony, while Miss Renfro claimed that her other entanglement was nothing but a hit and run.
I used a condom, so there is no other option, it's you.
But you were sleeping around, though.
I wasn't sleeping around. If we wasn't together, it don't matter who I was sleeping with.
But it does matter, though. I just don't want you to convince yourself of this lie. You understand that who you slept with during the window of time before Kendall was conceived is relevant.
Did you notice that there was a sudden shift in Miss Renfro the moment she admitted to being involved with another guy? Her "oh, feel bad for me" attitude was long gone. Furthermore, baby daddy claimed mama was a gold digger who called back at him for being a deadbeat.
She's just trying to get money out of me. That's it.
You believe it's because you have 2 jobs and she knows that you were able to take care of the baby.
Right.
Me and my ex take care of him.
The ex is on the birth certificate, so he's the one gonna owe child support. I hope he knows that.
He knows.
Me too.
It looked like both sides were more focused on trying to prove each other wrong, and the child and his medical condition were something secondary. And when that happened, Judge Lake called for a concluding envelope.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Toozy, you are not the father.
Yes!
Oops.
Told you!
Oops. Calm down, Mr.
Calm down.
Toozy.
So, who's telling the truth now? All that drama for nothing. Women have some guts coming and wasting the judge's time like that. I guess time for good schooling.
That is fine. I'm okay with that.
Do you know who is?
Yes, ma'am. If he wasn't the father, then yes, ma'am, I know.
Hold on. No.
You asked, I answered.
No, hold on. Cause you done got on my nerves now. And you
I never
cried,
asked
hold
you for
on.
anything.
You cried yourself a river in this courtroom, baby. All the time, never testifying to the whole truth. And that's wrong.